Hello, this week I'm going to talk about what's in my park bag slash airplane carry-on bag. I'll show you the items separately that are just for flying versus the items I take to the park every day. My park bag is this Osprey bag. I do love it, but you can take any bag you like. I will recommend, I know people like the fun big Disney bags, backpacks, but they are kind of awkward. They don't fit close to your body. These hiking bags are actually meant to fit snug to your body, and they're easy on your shoulders. So it just depends. If you're young, it may not matter, but I really like this bag a lot. It's lightweight, and this particular one's made for women, so it's actually very small, and since I'm short, that's great. And it has this section that I tend to put my wallet, my tickets, I don't really take makeup, but like chapstick, that kind of stuff. And then it has this giant compartment that I tend to put my video equipment, other larger items, and then it has this compartment in the back, and this is waterproof, so I use this to put water bottles and take those into the park with me from my room. I'm going to start with the items in the bag that I take just for the plane trip and that I remove once I get a room, checked into the room. I take my Kindle, I also take a set of earbuds, that's what's inside of this. I take a protein bar in case we get stuck in the airport and I can't find gluten-free food. I take a charger for my Canon G7X, that's my main vlogging camera that I'm using now. Not because I need to charge anything while I'm on the go, just because if this got lost, it would really put a damper on my vacation. And I also take an SD card carrier. Again, I don't need all of these on the first day, but if they got lost, I wouldn't be very happy. And there, one fell out. That's nice. This is actually a pretty decent case, though. I like it. It's waterproof as well, or water resistant at least. You can get that on Amazon. So these are the things I actually do take to the park every day. I have my ticket media. I'm an annual pass holder. It is on my Magic Band, but some things like discounts require you to show your card and require that you've signed your card. So if you're an annual pass holder, be sure you actually take the card. I'll be glad when they can get that. They need to just take your photo or something so they can just use the Magic Band to do that and you don't have to keep producing your card. But for most discounts, they still require that. I take a pen. Usually the only thing I need it for is when we go to the food festivals to check off in the passport what we've eaten. But I think it's just kind of good to have a pen. You never know when you might need one. And this underneath the annual pass holder card is my wallet. So be sure you take your credit cards you need, any insurance cards you might need, AAA card if you have it. Also your driver's license, because you can get carded, and also if you're flying you're going to need it for that anyway. And or if you're driving. And take some cash. I know this is sort of a cashless society now, but you're going to need it to tip housekeeping, to tip Bell Services, to tip Magical Express if they handle some luggage for you, probably things I'm forgetting. And also you might need change if you do laundry and you're not DVC, and you can get change from the concierge, although I've noticed they're starting to convert to machines that take credit cards, which is great. But you will need a little cash. We usually take about 10 to 21s, a few 5s, and a couple of 20s because, again, concierge can break the 20s if you run out of change. I take a master spreadsheet. This has our fast passes, ADRs for dining, that's dining reservations. It has our flights, our flight times, flight numbers, our room reservation number, and it also has the park hours for every day. And if you're going to do that, be sure you check them right before you leave, because Disney is famous for changing the hours at the last minute, and they also will change them the day of, which I can't do anything about, but I at least right before we leave I double check the times. And I also write down the early extra magic hours and late extra magic hours. If you're staying on property, that's something you can take advantage of. So it's sort of a master list, one sheet that has everything. I take my sunglasses. This is a must in Florida. Do not go without sunglasses. This is the actual SD card holder I take to the park with me. And I usually take 1 or 2 of these out. I've got them in here right now for the flight, but I will usually, once we get there, take one of those out at least, because I will never go through that many in a day. These are 32 to 64 gig, and even the 32 is sort of overkill for one day. This is my camera case for the G7X, which I'm using, and I'll show you what's in it in a minute. This is a handle for the G7X. I like this in the parks. I'm obviously not using it now, and I don't usually use it at home for our weekly vlogs, but when I'm at the parks, this is so much easier to grip, especially if you're on rides. It makes it easy to turn back and forth without accidentally touching the screen and changing something. So I highly recommend this, and it's super lightweight. Be sure it doesn't extend. Selfie sticks are not allowed in the park, and they also will not let you bring a stick like this in if it extends, and they'll probably ask you that as you go in, so you just say, nope, it doesn't extend. Then I have a plastic bag for extra battery for my camera. I have batteries in here as well, which I'll show you, but they don't all fit, so I put the extra one in here. I have an Anker charger. This charges my iPhone, and I get 2 full charges out of this, and it's very small. It's about the size of a lipstick, maybe a little bigger than lipstick. And I just charge it in the room each night. I know they have the fuel rods in the park. That's another good option. I just like this because I bought it once, and it was pretty good price on Amazon, and I just charge it in the room each night. But if you don't want to have to fool with that, you could do the fuel rods in the park. I take an extra charger for my iPhone. I have a second one that I take as well in my suitcase, but I like to have one actually on me at all times. And even though I usually don't use the plug, sometimes in the airport I do. We got stuck in the airport one time, a long time on the way to Disney, and that came in handy. And we both take ponchos. This is Brian's, and I carry both of them since I'm the only one that has a bag, and then he takes turns carrying the bag. But so we would have 2 of these, and we don't take it to the park every day, only if there's a decent chance of rain, because you can always duck in a building, and they're kind of heavy, especially if you're carrying 2. Then I take a Ziploc bag. If you get caught in a true downpour, this can be handy to throw camera, phone, anything in that you don't want to get soaked. I take these buttons in case we run into you guys. To hand out. I take Band-Aids because I usually don't need these, but the last thing you want is a blister on your foot or a cut at Disney that you don't have a Band-Aid on. So I carry these just in case. I don't tend to get blisters, but it's, you know, if your shoes get wet due to rain or something, it can happen. It can happen to anyone. I take some extra medications in here. I have to carry antihistamines in case I have an allergic reaction, so whatever you might need you can take. And do be aware that they do have a first aid at Disney, so if you forget something, all the parks have first aid centers, and if you need something urgently. And then I carry an EpiPen. They also have these in the park, but if I go into anaphylaxis, I do not want to wait to get to first aid. So I carry one with me at all times. Very important if you have allergies and you're traveling, because these can save your life. So don't forget this if you have allergies and you're traveling, and you have severe allergies. I take these wet ones, antibacterial wipes. I pack extra ones in my suitcase. The packing video came out last week. I will link to it up there to show you what I pack. So I take these to the park, but take extras. I take Kleenex. These are gum toothpicks. The Gum is the brand. I highly recommend these for Disney, because if you get something stuck in your teeth, you don't want to stick your finger in your mouth at Disney. That is not sanitary. So these allow you to hold this little end and get whatever it is out of your teeth. I take extra hair bands because it's hot at Disney. I take these oil absorbing sheets that blot oil from your face because it's very humid. And I take this chapstick type product. It's not chapstick, it's Badger organic lip balm, unscented, but it's the equivalent, it's a natural equivalent of chapstick. And that is pretty much it. So for what's inside my camera case, I carry a muff, This is called I believe it's called a micro muff. And so on the top of this camera I'm using, there's a piece of Velcro. This Velcros to it. And so I can put it on when it's windy and take it off when it's not. It basically covers the speakers. And it actually works really well. The only downside is you can only get it from England right now, this particular one. And it came apart and I had to glue it back together, and I have no idea if the glue is going to hold. So I have a hard time fully endorsing this since mine came apart. It may be the humidity in Florida, I don't know, but hopefully my new glue job will work. Then I also have one of those lens wiping cloths. I'm not going to dig it out of here, but it's one of those safe for lenses to wipe the lens. Lenses tend to fog up a lot in Florida. I also have 3 extra batteries in here to go along with that one I showed earlier. And then this is just the compartment for the actual camera, and I do actually use that sometimes. There's times when I go on, you know, certain rides where I know I'm not going to be filming, or just put it up for a while to eat, or different reasons I might need to put my camera in my bag. So it's really important to have a camera bag if you're taking a camera. One last thing that is just as important or more important than your ticket media is your magic band. Don't forget your magic band. And again, I put extra in our suitcase. I take an extra set because we have multiple sets. That's not really necessary. Worst case scenario, I believe they will give you a gray band if you forgot yours or something happens to it. But if you don't want to wear a gray magic band, don't forget your magic band. So that's it for what's in my park bag. I hope that was helpful. My biggest recommendation is take as little as you can. If you can get by with less, get by with less. Once I started vlogging, I found it pretty much impossible to go without a park bag. But if I could go without one, I totally would. But take the stuff you need. It can make your trip more comfortable. They do have lockers in the parks and for a fee, so that's another option if you take a bag and you don't want to carry it all day, but you want to have the items at the park with you. So I hope this was helpful to you and helps you decide what to take in your park bag. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, please like, subscribe, share with your friends, and leave me a comment. What's in your park bag? Did you see something I left out that's really important? Let me know. Thanks. Bye.